Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I shall see what's going on on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be relaxing as per usual. If you were there during my stream yesterday and are confused about how I'm recording this at 6 p.m, essentially what I was initially going to do, which made me busy at this moment, unfortunately got cancelled. So that's why I'm here recording Animal Crossing instead. I instead just recorded some other episodes of stuff. Recorded some 9 souls. I guess I'll set the metadata for that now. And then maybe I'll record some more Fall of Porcupine. I don't really know, to be honest. Hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6 p.m. on Sunday, March 1st, 2026. Oh, happy March 1st, to be honest. But yeah, otherwise, I don't really know what else I was going to talk about. TBH. That's about it. You know, I'm just building up an even bigger backlog of things, which is honestly great. I will absolutely say. Oh my gosh, why do I have so many things? Oh right, yeah, because it's the first of a month. Remember, the first of a month. Gunpowder, treason, and plot. You might say that's completely wrong, but it's the point. Well, what's it called when you have like idioms and you like mash them together? I mean, I know. Remember, 5th of November is not an idiom thing, but yeah. What am I going to talk about? There's not really much going on in Gacha. I didn't realise, I will say, that the next Champions Meet was so soon. I have kind of 2 characters. They're not like that amazing. I think they should be enough to get me to Grade A Final. I don't know about winning it though, unless I get lucky. But I'm making my 3rd one right now. Just haven't had a good run yet. And I don't know, we'll just sort of see how it goes. I didn't realise it was that soon. I don't think I spent that long. Like, probably because I spent so much of a previous one building up Halloween Super Creek, but I didn't really have enough time to build up stuff for this Champions Meet. And I also haven't been playing as much Uma Musume, to be honest, mainly because I think of a Gacha which is taking up my time now, Star Rail, because I'm playing through a story quest, and for us it is absolute peak. I love the story so far. I'm partway through Sirenes right now. I'm still having a great time with it. And yeah, it's just interesting because I'm playing a lot of these like very story-based things. I'm playing one of them and sort of inspired me to play the others. Now I want to play the ZZ Genshin one, just to see what their stories have been like, what I've been missing out on. And apparently the Wooer story, the most recent one, is pretty good, is what I've heard. But AMF one, I just haven't got there. I'm still on, I don't know whose patch it is. I think it's Phoebe's patch, or maybe it's Cantarella's patch or something in Wooer, so I'm pretty behind, all things considered. Enfield, I'm doing chapter 1 part 4, mainly because I need to unlock Wolfguard's story quest, because, well, it's interesting because I said a sufficiency thing with Enfield, and basically the long and short is I found someone else's like really efficient blueprints online for the factories and just copy pasted them instead. And I wondered to myself about it because I was like, I'm having a lot of fun doing the efficiency thing for like making these factories and stuff for Enfield, but then I found it very curious. I was like, oh, but at the end of the day I still ended up doing these like very efficient, perfect schematics. I'm like, I wonder why that is. And I thought about it more, and it's actually something which comes out a lot, I think, during these gacha games as well, which have these endgame modes. I think Genshin Impact is like a really clear one with Spirit Abyss, is the fact that I optimize things as well as I can, basically up to like a point, and then once I've achieved my goals, then I don't really care about the optimization part anymore. Like, I optimize up to a threshold, and most of the times that threshold is like getting the max rewards. Once I get the max rewards, then I don't care anymore about doing it myself. I'd rather just, you know, do whatever. Which I think is very clear now with Genshin Impact. Probably. But even clearer now with Enfield, where like I basically played through the entire story, like getting all the unlocks, doing my own factory or whatever, and then it's gotten to a point now where the bottleneck is no longer. The bottleneck is now like I need more items, and I'm like, I could sit here and figure out what the most efficient way to arrange everything is to make everything work, or I could just take something that someone else has made online and I don't have to do that. Because would I find it fun? Maybe I'd find it like kind of funnish, but I would also find it like, I think I'd find other things way more fun than doing that. So it's sort of just like you give and you take, not really that big a deal. I instead will just do that stuff, you know? I will just copy and paste. And I have found out that basically one of the like mining things I can't actually do anything about yet, because it's inaccessible. It's behind a story-gated mission, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I looked and I was like, okay, it's Wolfguard's mission. I'm like, I completed a main story of chapter 1. Surely now I can do Wolfguard's story mission. Nope, turns out there's a 4th chapter. I thought it was the epilogue for the mission. Turns out it's a whole nother chapter, which is 1.5 hours or something. And I was like, okay, I can't bother to do that yet. Especially because Enfield is not at the point where it's engaging me with its story. I'm like, I could play Enfield story, or I could play Star Rail story, where I'm just like, yes. Anyway, that's our catch talk for beginning. So I'll probably play more Star Rail story while doing some Gold City runs, and hopefully I can get something in this Dirt Champions meet. It kind of sucks though, because with Dirt at least it's like, makes it even harder because I don't have many things which work. Many like parents who work well on Dirt, and many Umas. I could run Ugly Cap, I'm not like, Ugly Cap I'm just like, I run her basically as my sort of third in a slot if she's like really strong. The way I do it is basically I try and run the strongest I have of the characters I kind of like. I try and run a character I genuinely do like a lot, like one of my favourites, and then I run a character who is also pretty strong. So that's what I'm doing with, that's what I'm doing with this one. I'm running Sarah Marazansky, like a strong character who I do actually kind of like. I'm running Gold City, who's my favourite character, or to be fair, she's not actually that bad in this CM. And I'm running Smart Falcon, who is strong. Like, I don't mind Smart Falcon, but she's probably on the same tier as Ugly Cat for me. Although certainly I would say Last Champions Meet made me like her a lot more. That's what I did Last Champions Meet as well, didn't I? Did I even run Last Champions Meet? I don't remember. Smart Falcon, yes, I remember. So did Smart Falcon. I don't remember. Few places. Halloween Super Greek. Who was the other one? It wasn't Gold City, was it? No, there's no way I ran Gold City. I don't even remember who I ran. Oh, Curran-chan. Yeah, I don't know. That's not the point. Just sort of miscellaneous talk here. I would say also, our drawing club, drawing groups, drawing society, we did the next drawing prompt, which was one prompted by the release of the Pokemon Winds and Waves, where we basically predicted what we think the final evolutions of a starter Pokemon are going to look like. I'll probably post mine at some point, and it's not going to be posted on this channel, it'll be posted on my art channel. Not my art channel, my art socials. Are they the best Pokemon I've ever drawn? No, not really. Because there was something like, I was like, I want to get this done in this evening. So we start, I don't remember when I started, maybe like 10, so probably it was like a 3-hour drawing, to draw 3 hour, no. 3 of them? No, 4-hour drawing. That seems pretty reasonable. And I did have a bit of a think, like I spoke about them yesterday, what I thought was going to happen. And I think that the thing I basically settled on as Sprout was like, I don't really know what's going to happen, but certainly that Sprout is going to grow into a big plant. The Pom Bomb, or whatever it's called, I was like, I don't really know what's going to happen with that, to be honest. And then Gekwa, I was like, it's going to become like a posh rich lady or something, surely. Like, or someone who's put on stairs. So when I thought about Mirror more, I did some like sort of exploration, some ideating with his prediction. And I came up with 3 predictions, which I'll verbally describe to you now. I suppose you can hunt down my art socials if you really want to look and see what they look like. But the grass one, like I would say the overall theme I have is I made them basically like royal advisors. I don't know why I necessarily went with this concept. I mean, it basically came from Gekwa's, and I was like, right, I guess the others can sort of vaguely fit this theme. But like, my ideation is that probably the legendaries will look monarchical or some kinds, or some sort of royalty, some sort of grandioseness. And then these 3 are like people you'd find in the royal court or something. So the grass one becomes basically like a sage, an advisor. The fire one becomes like a knight, a guard, a warrior of some type, and then the water one becomes like a courtesan or something. An attendant, whatever, I forget what they're called, what the actual parlance is. So the grass one, I basically describe it looks like an ostrich with like a very grand plant growing out the top of his head. It's got like a beard, and I've called it seared. So it's like a sear, beard, and seed, all like combined into one. Grass psychic, kind of ostrich-like. And then the dog, I made it based off those, like, the things you... I think it's more of an East Asian thing. I'm not sure if it's that Southeast Asian inspired, but Winds and Waves at least is supposedly Southeast Asian inspired, but although it doesn't always reflect the region in the starters, like it did for the British one, certainly, but it didn't so much as for the previous one, right? But Chartector, I've called him, to be like Char Protector, and he's kind of like based off those like, stone lion dog statues or whatever with like the curly hair and manes, because I mean, even though it's like a shade Pomeranian, I was just like, kind of looks like he's got like big curly thing at the front. Also looks like where things are sort of becoming upturned. So I would say it's kind of like, is that the Shield legendary or Pokemon Sword and Shield, like that sort of vibe, but perhaps more traditional in a way. And then Gekwa has become Portesian, I suppose, which is meant to be Poor plus Courtesan plus Poison all together. Or Courtesan, or whatever it's called. And I don't know, but this kind of yassified. I was like, one of them's probably going to become bipedal and very humanoid. Like, that seems to be the case every single time. Although I suppose last generation 2 of them did. So then the eyelashes got extended, they got like new accoutrements which would kind of look like crown-esque sort of decoration features. And then the tail I have at the back, which looks like it squirts things, I've made it to become like a poison umbrella. Because my initial ideation about it was like they were going to be like some sort of like sly person who puts on airs, but also like secretly poison, you know, like a poison assassin or something. Like someone who works like in disguise and stuff and slips something into a drink, and then they leave the scene of a crime and it's like, the king has been murdered. That's what I imagined. Because they have a bit of like a sinister, snide look about them, I think. Does that really come across? I don't really know, to be honest. Do I genuinely think this is what the starters are going to look like? Absolutely not. I'm going to be 100% real. I feel like these don't really follow a lot of Pokemon-esque rules. I can see maybe Chartector, vaguely, like that sort of concept. I can't imagine Portesian becoming like that, and I can't imagine Sid looking like this exactly. Like, it doesn't scream starter Pokemon to me. Sid, at least. Chartector, like, I can kind of see, maybe. So we'll see how accurate those predictions are, mind you. They could be exactly on, or they could be awfully off. I genuinely don't know. But it's fun to predict, at the very least, or like, give an attempt, in my opinion. And the funniest thing is, as I was drawing it, obviously, I was streaming it to my friends in the Discord group, and like other people were as well. One of my other friends obviously saw this, but didn't join the server, the voice channel, and just added me in like our friend circle and being like, you better put that water lizard back on 4 feet right this instant. And I just found that so funny. I don't really have much of an issue against Pokemon becoming bipedal. I have more of an issue, I suppose, if the designs or the ideation behind them don't feel like a cohesive flow in my mind. Like, I like both the very traditional starters that we have like early on in the game, along with the ones which are much more anthropomorphized, or like Pokemon with jobs, as they're often called. Because some of them I think work really well. Some of them I think look really strange. It's probably the best way to put it. I need like a list of all the starters. Like their final, I need like final evolutions. Because the one I was working with was like a piece of fan art someone made. Which had, oh yeah, this is it, this Facebook one. Which had all 9 generation starters. Where's it from? I don't even know who made this exactly. Which generations of starters is your favourite? Is it, are you the original one who made it? No. Saki Pokioeaki on Twitter apparently is the one who made it. It's just been reposted. Yeah, because I have nothing along with like the starter generations ones who are pretty cool. Like a much more basic, I suppose, in scope and scale. And each evolution is basically the same thing as the previous one, but slightly bigger. Slightly bigger, make the defining features a bit more, and then maybe change your middle evolution's colour. It's basically how I define a lot of the early ones. Some of the later ones I feel I'm a bit more iffy on. Like the last generation I actually think is kind of, like Meowscarada I actually quite like. It does actually feel quite kind of Pokemon-ish. And the Skeleton Dirge one I think is kind of cool. The dance one I think is a bit much, I don't know. Like, mainly because it just looks like it's wearing trousers and clothes. At least Masquerada, despite the fact it's obviously mimicking sort of clothes, it still kind of looks like something on top. The generation before that genuinely just looked like we're wearing clothes. Inteleon feels very strange to me. I like it as a concept though. I actually really like the generation before that. The one with, what are they called? Incineroar, Primarina, Decidueye. I actually really like that generation. Like, those are much more humanoid, I suppose, in a certain sense, but they feel like a nice mix, you know? Decidueye, I feel like, is a perfect balance. Incineroar is probably leaning a bit too humanoid, even for me. Like, I guess in my mind, it's like, they've got to be humanoid for a reason. Like, Delphox is humanoid, and it works pretty well. Like, they're very animalistic humanoid. Greninja, also humanoid, and looks well. Chestnut, I guess also kind of humanoid, but really, I just don't like Chestnut's design all that much. I know it's a chestnut, but still. Generation 5, I kind of like, I would say. Mainly. I think, if anything, I'd say from Generation 5 is the jump from Duat to Samurai is too much. Like, Duat needs to be more of an in-between, I don't know. Generation 4 is pretty fun, I don't know. Like, I'm not that bothered as much by the humanoid designs, I'm more concerned about the designs, full stop, I suppose. Some of them are a bit more hit or miss, and certainly I think up in complexity as you get to later generations. To give it more of like a distinct identity rather than this is just a creature who is this animal, you know. Like Charizard is literally just a dragon who breathes fire, right? Because I suppose once you get to like the 1000s, it's a bit harder to make that sort of distinction. So they're a bit hit or miss. But yeah, predicting evolutions, that's always a fun part. So I don't know. I don't know when I'll post it. My other channels, art socials. I forget what days are meant to be peak days. Like Wednesdays is meant to be one of the peak days. Like I used to pay attention to when were the peak days. Something like that. Anyway. It's a lot of fun, I would say. Just trying to sort of predict these things. I do not think I'm going to be at all accurate. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to go in very different directions. Because I remember reading some of the things, right? Like some people were like, oh, maybe they're going to become a cheerleader for Pom-Pom one. But I'm like, it's probably a Pomeranian, but I don't really know. Like, there's not enough information basically from the first evolution a lot of the time to make a conclusion of what they look like, because we're not in early generations anymore. So it's like, the only thing you say is like, it is a Pomeranian. Okay, where do I go from it? I don't know. But yeah, that's about it. I guess I drew a wind yesterday, so I drew waves this time. So yeah, it's kind of fun illustrating them. Like, we've done a lot of like fake Pokemon designs and that sort of thing, so certainly I feel like reasonably accustomed to drawing fake Pokemon now. Do I have a style 100% nailed down? No, not really, but still. Anyway, on that note, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Adam Crossing New Horizons. I've been dear darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see you again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.